us to Mtoto na Sheria Show, where we make the law simple for children to understand. My name is Blessed Barak Juma, Namindo Gustueni. Now, here, our focus is going to be on child trafficking. But our theme is beyond and within. Do you know what beyond and within means? Don't worry, our explainer DJ is going to unpack this information for us.
Hi, have you missed me? I'm back again. Hadija is here. So today we are going to talk about child trafficking beyond and within. And when you're talking about child trafficking beyond and within, we need to ask ourselves first, what is beyond and what is within? Beyond means outside and within means inside. And we already know what child trafficking means, yeah? If you remember what Brian King said last week, you can send your answers. What did Blessed say? Yeah, send your answers to what number? Okay, so child trafficking within means that child trafficking happens inside the country you're living in without going outside of the country. Let's say mtoto anatolewa wapi? Ushago. Analetwa Nairobi. Anaambiwa you're going to live with the uncle or your aunt or your shosho in Nairobi. But when they get here, they start being told, oh, you're not supposed to go to school. Please take care of this child of mine. Oh, you're not going to school. Please go wash utensils. Please attend to the garden. You see, things like those. We usually take them lightly, but that is also a form of child trafficking. And when you're talking about child trafficking beyond, it means that you are taken away from the country, out to another country, so that you can be abused, you can be exploited, people can use you to make money or even just for their own, pleasure. And that is bad. So now, have we understood what child trafficking beyond and within means? Because that will be our theme for the rest of this month. Do you remember what Barak said? Yes, child trafficking beyond and within is our theme for the whole month. So tune in and back to you, Blessed Barak.
We're going to have an expert on the set who's going to give us now full information deeply about child trafficking within and beyond. I know you guys have been wondering why we've been having male guests on the set. But this time, this month, I told you things are going to work out differently. This month, we have a very different theme, which is child trafficking. And also this month, we are having the first female guest of the Mtoto na Sheria Show on the set. So guys, clap for us. This is a very great achievement. So, our guest here today is going to unpack the information about child trafficking. I know I already did the foundation of it, but now I want us to get deep into child trafficking. Are you guys ready to listen? Hata mimi niko ready kumsikiza. Madam, can you please introduce yourself to the children?
Well, hi everybody. My name is Ruth Juliet Nyambura Gashanda, but you can just remember Juliet. Mimi ni wakili wa watoto. So I am a lawyer who represents children, who speaks for children, who speaks with children, and who speaks for them. So in a nutshell, that is what I do. But to maybe specifically on the subject matter of child trafficking, I have worked on this subject and on this issue for a long time. I have had the privilege of representing children who are victims of trafficking. Mm-hmm. I have had an opportunity to represent children who are victims of sexual abuse. Mm-hmm. I have had an opportunity to lead an organization or a committee, a government NGO committee mm-hmm. that combats human trafficking here in Kenya. Mm-hmm. I have had a chance to develop some policies around human trafficking. Mm-hmm. So I have really worked on this issue on human trafficking, and I am hoping that we continue to fight against human trafficking, against child trafficking, because I think it is the worst thing that can happen to human beings is to ulaguzi wa binadamu. That is what it's called in Kiswahili. So I hope that we can really be able to fight it together, and I'm so proud of you and Mtoto na Sheria, because if we continue to spread out the information, then the more the people know about it, the more we are capable to combat, to fight it.
Oh, thank you very much. So guys, can you remember in the last episode I was asking you actually, what is the Swahili word for child trafficking? And Juliet actually answered that question right now. And guys, did you answer the question? I'm wondering. So Juliet, thank you for answering that question. You said ulaguzi wa binadamu.
Yes.
So to children, ulaguzi wa watoto.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So guys, my question got answered. So thank you very much, Juliet. So an advocate for children, wakili wa watoto. So if I call you right now, can you be my lawyer?
Yes, I can be your lawyer.
Oh,
yes.
That's great. That's great. So guys, I have a lawyer, you have a lawyer. Every child has a lawyer.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
you had this information from Juliet. So Juliet, we've last episode we just gave a foundation of child trafficking, and we just spoke about a little bit about child trafficking. And so this time, I told you guys that you're going to get deeply into child trafficking. So child trafficking, we know what child trafficking is, and but also we have your perspective on child trafficking. And so what can child trafficking really happen in someone's home, not only across borders?
Okay. Let me explain something. I don't know how many of us are Christians who are watching, and I don't know how many of us know the story of Joseph. The best way to explain child trafficking is the story of Joseph. I don't know if you've heard it.
Yeah.
Have you heard the story of Joseph?
Mm-hmm.
So Joseph tells the brothers that I have a dream, right? And they don't like the dream, right? And then what do? They
catch him.
And they
Like they put him in a pit. Is it in a pit? Yeah. Then they wanted to him, but one of the brothers, Reuben, told them not to. So they decided to sell him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so they get some money, but they sell him. And that is the best way I can explain child trafficking. So that in a nutshell is what child trafficking is. And as you can see it happened in from Joseph's house.
Yeah.
Right? It's his own brothers who actually trafficked him. And they sold him to other people. And thankfully his story ended up differently. But if you read the story of Joseph, you see he goes through so many problems while he is in captivity. So that is the best way we can explain child trafficking. And it's true. Child trafficking, by the way, does not need to happen outside the borders. And that is how the law defines it.
Yeah.
So, like the story of Joseph, some cases I have seen is mtoto anachukuliwa tuseme kutoka nyumbani, tuseme kutoka Nakuru, analetwa Nairobi, anakuja kusomeshwa. Mtu anaambia mama yake, wacha nilete mtoto aende akasome. Akifika Nairobi, anaenda anafanya kazi wapi? Kwa nyumba za watu. Instead of doing what? Instead of actually going to school. So trafficking does not have to happen across the border for it to be considered trafficking. And it is dangerous because saa zingine sio watu wabaya tu who traffic, you know, the child who what are the words I want to use? You know, to break it down, trafficking iko na vipengele vitatu. Kuna act, kuna means na kuna purpose. So action ni tuseme transportation, recruitment, ile kuandikwa kazi, you know? Recruitment, kuna procurement, kuenda kutisha huyo mtoto kusema nitalipa hii pesa. Now that is act, yeah? So ziko kadhaa. Then means kuna ni sababu, how did it happen? So kuna means of coercion, kuna fraud, kuna ile kuogopesha mtu, you know, using deceitful means and using force. And then purpose ni exploitative purpose, kumaanisha that there is somebody else who's benefiting from the process trafficking. So exploitative means tuseme for child labor, child sexual exploitation. Siku hizi kuna online watoto wanaonyeshwa on live stream wakifanya vitu vibaya, si ndio? So there are many other purposes. Hata kuna kesi zingine zenye niliona watoto wanatumika kuuza drugs tuseme. Can you imagine? So that is the exploitative means. Exploitative kumaanisha that there is somebody who's benefiting from from that whole process. Lakini ikikuja kwa sheria tuseme, when you go to the court now, if a case of trafficking is reported, the prosecutor, you said you want to be a prosecutor, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So the prosecutor will only will give evidence on two things: the act, right? So either the child was recruited, transported, harbored, kuweka mtu kwa nyumba, either that, and they are going to check what was the form of exploitation that the child was going to go through. So transportiwa either afanye kazi kwa nyumba, kwa shamba, hivyo,
Yeah.
Any form of exploitative means. So meaning with children, we don't check so much on the means. Okay? So it can happen right at home, and sometimes unapata ni wazazi wanauza watoto, unapata ni walimu, unapata ni watoto, unapata ni watu tu kwa wamekuwa wakiona mtoto akienda shule anapakanga point A point B. So anakuja anamgrab, alafu wanaenda wanamuuza for exploitation purposes. So it can happen at home, it can happen across the border, but it is an offense anyway.
Juliet, we have a right to, is there a right to lack of child trafficking, or how do you call it?
Yes, there is a right to not be trafficked.
So how can we call it? So maybe right to protection.
Yes, exactly.
Right to care and protection. So
yes.
Kuna watoto wengine wetu, they have been taken by their relatives. Wanasema the relatives take them ama wanachukua they're going to help out. So but that does not turn into helping out. You know how it turns to be. Inageuka inakuwa mambo ingine tofauti with what aliambia wazazi or something. So how does it turn to be harmful? Like nitaionyesha that this thing is harmful. We anaishi na the relatives.
So first wacha niseme that kama kuna mtu yote ameandika mtoto kwa nyumba, unajua mtoto mdogo, mtoto ambaye yuko chini ya miaka 18 na yuko kwa nyumba yako anafanya kazi ya kulea watoto wako, hiyo ni hatia against the law. There is something called child labor, and there are laws in this country that are against child labor. Watoto wote watoto wote ambao wako chini ya miaka ngapi? 18 wanafaa kwa wapi? Shule ama in the playing field wakicheza. So umesema unajua haki za watoto.
Yeah.
One of the most important rights of children is not just right to education. It is right to leisure and right to play. That is why as a country we do not want children working. It is in the Constitution, it is in the Children Act, and it is in the Employment Act. Imagine, tuko na 3 laws zenye zinakataza nini? Watoto kufanya nini? Kufanya kazi. Kwanza domestic labor. Domestic labor hairuhusiwi hata kidogo kwa watoto. It's important to remember that any child who is a victim or feels like they are a victim, they should be able to call in 116 so that they can actually get help. But you can also call 999. You know the number for the police? You can also call that number. The police has an anti-human trafficking child protection unit, and that unit investigates cases of child trafficking. So they can also call the police and report. The cases I have been involved in, the people have called the police sometimes and they need a lawyer to help them, and so I have been invited by the police to do that. 116 of course is a child line, helpline, so it's important that they call those numbers. And also children, do report to your teachers. If you can't trust your teachers, report to your parents. If you can't trust your parents, just go and look for the chief's office and report those cases there. So children, let's look out for other children, and adults around the children, please make sure that identify the chief's office, because near the chief's office, there's always the children officer's office there, and you can go and report those cases.
Remember to always send us your views about this show, about the other shows. Remember to send us your questions, anything involving the budget, involving child trafficking. And also, remember to send us what you want us to discuss on our next episodes as the theme of our next episode. I've been your host, Blessed Barak Juma. See you next time. Bye.